Hello, it's Doris with Ollie Books, and I'm here to talk about my January focus project. So, I think my first full year on BookTube, I don't feel like doing the math, but like 4 years ago, I decided in January I wanted to do a focus project regionally on the Middle East for various reasons. Just looking at the books, literature, nonfiction from the Jewish and Muslim perspective. And it was a great reading month. And it's a tradition that I have carried on each year since then in January. I like to pick regions that are like political fault lines. I think a lot of great thoughts and interesting perspectives and, all of that come out of political fault lines around the world. So yeah, my Middle Eastern project is over there. I keep adding to it as I, find things that fit in. And then the next year I did, it's interesting to make your hand think backwards. I did Japan and Korea. That was a great year. And then last year I did South Africa, and that was really awesome. And I'm actually not done with that. I found so much literature from South Africa and just enjoyed all of it except for one. But anyway, so when I was thinking about where in the world I wanted to read from this year, I remember I was reading The Feast of the Goat, and I ended up reading a couple other books from the Dominican Republic. And I remember I was talking with Mark Nash, and I can't remember how the subject came up, but I kind of jokingly said that I would like to read about all of the island dictators. So that thought just stayed with me throughout the year. And like I said, I did read two or three more from the Dominican Republic. And I was thinking about that, and I've narrowed that idea down, but it stuck with it. And obviously, growing up in Florida, I chose to do the most iconic island dictator for me, which would be Fidel Castro, Cuba. So I have a fabulous stack of books by Cuban authors, by Cuban American authors, books about Cuba, all kinds of genres and perspectives. So just diving right in, and obviously I don't know too much about the individual books right now, but I will. By the end of January, I'll know a lot more about Cuba. So starting off the stack, I have A New History by Richard Gott, written with verve and scholarship, the best history of Cuba yet, according to the Saturday Telegraph. You can't go wrong with a map on the cover. I mean, that's primo design right there. And then I picked up Dreaming in Cuban by Christina Garcia. This is a short novel, a couple hundred pages. Look like a couple letters. But I've heard a couple people really talk about this. Looks like it's in the 70s. Set in the 70s, some of it. Yep. Anyway, so stay tuned for that. And then Cuba on the Verge, 12 Writers on Continuity and Change in Havana and Across the Country, edited by Leila Guerriero. So I guess this is probably essay collections and, very contemporary. So that'll be a good perspective. And then The Last Train to Key West by Chanel Clayton. This is a romance, and I've read the first two in this series already. So these are set around three sisters that the family has to flee Cuba. And so they grow up in Florida. And then you know, when Cuba reopens, they're able to go back and revisit. And so first two I enjoyed, so looking forward to that one. And then The Fallen by Carlos Manuel Alvarez, translated from the Spanish by Frank Wynn. Another shorty, but this one I saw on Nicole from Nicole Is Here to Read, I believe. I saw this on her channel. And so it was a last minute edition when we were doing Grey Wolf Press for the Indie Press Project. So yes, excited to figure out what that's about. And then The Surrender Tree by Marguerita Engel. Marguerita Engel is one of my favorite authors. She writes in verse, middle grade literature, and her work is always fabulous. And yeah, so I think these are, poems of Cuba's struggle for freedom. And I think this includes the Spanish and the English versions of the poems. So excited to dabble in a little Spanish as I'm reading in January. And then I have My Time Among the Whites, Notes from an Unfinished Education by Janine Capo Crucet. This is a nonfiction piece, I think, kind of, I don't know if it's a memoir or more of an essay style, but yes, in that color combination. I mean, I know it's not all about the covers, but it doesn't hurt. And then I get books from a variety of sources. So some of them, you know, I just get on Book Outlet and type in Cuba and see what pops up, and, you know, just get a bunch of filler books there from what's, you know, available at the time, and things that I've seen throughout the year. And then I always just Google, you know, top 10 Cuban literature or books from Cuba, or, you know, it just see some websites and what people think are the important works to consider. So this one popped up on several lists: Waiting for Snow in Havana, Confessions of a Cuban Boy by Carlos Irele. And I'm not sure if this one, I don't think this one's translated, and I'm not sure if it's a fictionalized account or if it's a memoir, but I really like the back here. Have Mercy on Me, Lord, I am Cuban, 1962. So yeah, I think this is gonna be great. And then another one that came up on those lists was Finding Mañana, a memoir of a Cuban exodus by Mirta Ojito. This one was actually available on Book Outlet as well. So, you know, if you're interested, you can grab it there. So this one's 1980. Yep. I like that variety time periods as well. This one was an impulse buy on Book Outlet. The Black Cathedral by Marcial Gala. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful. And I think it's a thriller, maybe. But the end pages in this, when I opened it, I was so happy. Those are just so cool. So cool. So, translated by Anna Kushner. What's that? I believe this is a series too. Hopefully it's good. And then The Cubans, Ordinary Lives in Extraordinary Times by Anthony De Palma. I think this is also more current nonfiction. And then lastly, the infamous Cuba Libre, in which I ordered it in Spanish the first time around and had to go back and get the English version. But this is about, I believe, Che Guevara and Fidel Castro and the Improbable Revolution. So yeah, I mean, the iconic at the end there. So yeah, so Cuba in January of 2021, I think it's going to be fascinating, and I'm excited to dive in and share it with you. So thanks so much for watching. I'm trying to get all my January plans, my 2021 plans filmed this week while I'm off, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Oopsie.